So I'm here today with Anna, and she's just been working on one of my 4-week series with me. We're going to just do a little bit of behind the scenes because I am excited to start to introduce all of you to some of the work that I've been doing with private clients. And it's been a little bit hard to put to words, and so Anna was gracious enough to share her experience. But before we get started in what transpired, just giving a little background on where were you when you decided to dive into this work with me?
So I had been on a couple of the retreats out to the Channel Islands, and I felt that both of those were really moving experiences overall. And then I would get home from them and very quickly lose track of all of the peace and grounding that I felt in them. And so I wanted to find a way to bring that grounding and peace into my day-to-day life and maintain it and, carry it forward in a more meaningful and conscious way.
Cool. I'm glad you brought that up because Erin and I always like to call that the retreat hangover.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that you have all this powerful momentum when you have separated yourself into this time and space that's a safe container. And then all of a sudden you get back to the reality and sort of how do you start to use those tools. And I think that's what Anna and I talked the last time. We had some downtime at this picturesque spot in Santa Cruz Island, and we got to connect and have those conversations of how do we start to integrate some of these practices and these feelings that we have on the island. And so that's where we started talking about this 4-week sessions that I offer. And so these 4-week sessions, I'll let you tell them a little bit about it instead of me, because I'll just do something generic of what I think it is, and you probably have a different interpretation of what you got out of it. So what has the last 4 weeks been like?
I mean, I think the really beautiful part about it is that we started the weeks with an intention, and our first session was really sitting down. I wasn't sure what to expect, but we kind of dove into what the goals were for it for me and did a little bit of meditating with my intuition, which was really meaningful. And then it felt like, between the homework and the weekly practices, whenever I came in, I wasn't sure what I needed, and I felt like you always intuited what I needed, which was really beautiful and amazing. And then B, like, it did take me through this path of, not like I'm fully self-actualized now, but I'm much closer to, I think, understanding what I need and where I'm going based off the path we took.
And you can feel that in you now, right?
Very much
so. And you know how to re-engage with that. And I think that was the biggest thing that we were talking about today is that there's this awareness now around, like, rather than sitting on Santa Cruz Island and saying, how do I find that? Now you actually know how to come back to it. And knowing that each day is a new day to start to practice this again. So again, we just finished up Anna's 4 weeks. And so what are your next steps?
Oh boy.
And it doesn't have to be on a personal level. Just what are you feeling as you're walking out of this space of like, okay, this is what I'm really taking away from this? How about that?
I think that it's the thing that I know. Like, I know what I need. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. And because of society, whatever the factors are, I've stopped myself from taking those steps. And I think that my next actual steps in the world are to listen to that and check in with it and allow it to bring me forward versus like rejecting it or saying no because it's not what I feel I'm supposed to be doing or the people in my life feel I'm supposed to be doing. Just harder. It's so much easier to say than it is to do it, but I feel like I'm much closer to being able to do it. I really do.
Yes, so absolutely. And we will continue to check in on all of that. And it's going to be such an amazing journey. You're about ready to take that big old leap. So, yeah.
Yay!
All right.